Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Wife cheated. I am so angry, I am scared of myself. So I am a bit lost for about 2 weeks since I found out. I've been suspicious for a while, lots of red flags but nothing definite. I decided to confront her and her reaction, irrational anger. How can I accuse her of something like that? She would never cheat. Made me sure. I snooped on her phone and computer but couldn't find anything, so I bought some small cameras and placed them around the house. Then I went to visit some friends over the weekend. I grew up in Norway close to the Swedish border. I met my wife in Sweden. I was 20, she was 21, and she had a 3-year-old kid when we met. We hit it off and I have been that kid's dad for the last 11 years. I love that guy, I consider him my son. We have been married for 6 years, not that it matters. Long story short, I went home early when I knew she wouldn't be there and watched the footage. Sure enough, there she was doing adult stuff with another guy. I recognized him as a work colleague, Theodore. We were friendly with him and his wife. I used to believe seeing red was just a figure of speech, but I was seeing red. I have never been that angry. I am actually a very mellow guy. I never really get angry, but I just lost it. I hit the walls. I kicked the bedroom door so hard it flew off its hinges and smashed the glass table we had in a living room. I bit the inside of my cheek. I didn't even notice. But when I screamed, I sprayed the wall and floor with blood. At some point I managed to hit my head pretty hard and that snapped me out of it. I looked at the carnage, and I knew I just had to get out of there. Had my wife walked in at that point, I think I would be in jail. In the best case scenario for domestic violence and in the worst case for murder. I quickly packed a suitcase with essentials and my laptop. I work with simulation and modeling and my computer is custom and I need that to do my job. I sent a copy of the video to Theodore's wife. I didn't really write anything about the message apart from "your husband is cheating with my wife." I met my son just outside our apartment complex. I gave him a hug and told him I would always love him but that his mother was cheating on me, so I had to leave. I really regret telling him. He shouldn't be burdened with that, but I wasn't really myself at the time and it just came out of me. I went to the border. I wanted to go see my family in Norway, but they didn't want to let me cross due to COVID. I've been renting a cheap Airbnb. I'm working but I'm like a zombie. I haven't talked to my wife. The only person I have responded to is my son. He's been asking me questions. I've been honest with him as far as possible that I don't know what is going to happen next, apart from divorce. I've been trying to find a good lawyer. I've received hundreds of messages from my wife and her part of the family. I haven't responded to any of it. My parents are the only ones that know on my side as far as I know. I don't want to talk to my friends because they are friends with my wife as well, so I don't really have good support at the moment. I'm afraid that if I talk to her or see her again, I will lose it and do something I can't take back. I also don't want to lose contact with my son, but I have no idea where to even start. I am still boiling with rage and I don't know how to get past that. I need to respond to my wife at some point, but I'm so angry that I don't think I'm capable of being rational. I just wanted to try to write this out and see if that helps. So far I would say it's made no difference at all. Talk to a lawyer and work out a game plan. Don't let her know how badly you want to continue your relationship with your stepson. She could use that to manipulate you and prevent contact. I am not too hopeful about that. She will probably use him against me. Find a woman to have your own kids with while there's still time. She didn't respect you due to you being willing to care for another man's offspring while never pushing for your own. It made her see you as less dominant and played a part in her decision to cheat. What is she saying in the texts? It's all over the place, from "I am sorry, it only happened once, please come home" to "it's actually your fault." Mini update, wife cheated, I am so angry I am scared of myself. I'm doing better, I actually visited a cage fighting club. I should really stress that I do not know how to fight at all. I am not really in great shape. The few times that ended up in a fight in my youth I've had my ass beaten badly. I talked to them and explained the situation. They were actually really friendly and eager to help. First they made me work out for 2 hours, and when that didn't take the edge of my anger they put me in the ring with a very experienced fighter. It was clear he was really gentle with me, and even though I did my best I didn't even give him a workout. It's pretty clear he let me punch and kick him, but he easily blocked whatever I threw at him. The few times I managed to land a blow with a little bit of force, he was quick to give me a smack back. Since I have no clue what I'm doing, his gentle taps slapped me around hilariously. He would always ask if I was okay before proceeding again. He even apologized a few times for hitting me during our little session when he thought he had maybe hit me too hard. Imagine apologizing for hitting the opponent in a fight. He clearly didn't see me as an opponent at all. I doubt he would see me as a threat ever. I have a newfound respect for people that know how to fight, and I am determined to learn it. These guys were the chillest people I have ever met. I want to be as calm as them. My little fight helped a lot. It really took the edge off. I don't have that burning anger. I am still pissed, but now it's manageable. I will go back for training and more beatings. Still, I don't trust myself to meet my wife. I have talked to my son. I told him that no matter what we would be okay. I consider him and my son no matter what happens between his mother and me. Appreciated. I think you're really appreciated that. I have talked to a few common friends and her parents. Apparently my wife has become sort of unglued. She's been calling and talking to everyone at all hours, day and night. She has apparently confessed everything to almost everyone, and even offering money to anyone that could put her in touch with me. I was considering only speaking to my wife via a lawyer, but I can't afford that, so I've asked my cousin to act as a go-between. I gave her a few questions to put forward, so we see where it goes from there. I plan to contact the APS wife next week as well. Some Redditors strongly suggested that I talk to my wife and tell her that if I can adopt my son I will consider reconciliation. But I would never do that. I will not use my son as a pawn in anything ever. As things stand now, I would love to adopt him, but only if he asks me to, and only if I am sure it's what he wants and that he isn't influenced or pressured by anyone. I will get through this. I think I have received so much good advice here. I feel like I have a plan now to move forward with. Update 2, wife cheated. I am so angry I am scared of myself. I'm sorry it's been radio silence. I've had my hands full since my last post. I see a lot of questions in my PM messages, so I figured it's easier just to make this update. I started calling my son twice per day after my last post. He would always tell me everything was okay, but I guess it really wasn't. I was focusing on trying to get myself under control. I started going to IC, that helped some. But what really changed things is when I went to try boxing. The first place I visited was kind of grimy and run down. Still, the 5 guys that were there seemed to have this amazing camaraderie going on. And I really I wanted in on that. I wanted to belong there badly. They all told me I had to talk to the old man who was the owner of the place. Apparently he decided who could join or not. They all had a lot of respect for him, so I was kind of apprehensive. Let's just say that the old man has an abrasive personality. To begin with, he just listened, but once he started talking I was quickly getting more and more agitated. There wasn't anything I could really put my finger on. Everything he said was true, and maybe that's what angered me, or maybe it was the tone? Like every question or sentence was an accusation of sorts. The old man made me feel like I was not good enough to become a member of his club, and I suddenly found myself in a position of arguing with him for him to let me prove that I was worthy. I still haven't figured out if he is just an asshole or some kind of genius. That said, the old man has really affected my life in a very positive way, even though he is very uncomfortable to be around. I am starting to see why people have such respect and admiration for him. The old man has helped me understand why I was so angry and how to think more clearly moving forward. It's a story in itself, but this is already getting long, so back to the main issue. A few days after my post, about 20 minutes after I had talked to my son, he called me back. He was crying and he apologized for lying to me. He lied when he said everything was okay at home. He went on to tell me that my wife was just sitting in front of the TV, staring at it even if he turned it off. He didn't have any food to eat, the house smells, and the only thing he had eaten in the last 2 days was some sandwiches a friend's mother had made for him when he visited. Of course, I immediately rushed home. I could smell the rotten garbage in the hallway even before I got in the door. The house was an absolute filthy mess. It clearly hadn't been cleaned since I left almost a month ago. The floor was covered in crumpled up sheets of paper, overflowing with dirty dishes in the sink. Broken glass on the floor. Rotten garbage smell, absolutely disgusting. I went to check on my son first. I had picked up a burger for him on the way over. I asked him to stay in this room and eat while I go and talk to his mum. I assured him everything would be okay. I was home, I was going to take care of him. He cried and hugged me for a bit before I went to check on his mother. That hug felt so good. I had missed him so much. I am never leaving him again. My wife sat staring at the screen like my son had described it to me. What he didn't tell me was how terrible she looked. She had lost a terrifying amount of weight. She was just skin and bones. Her eyes were sunk into her head, dark rings, lifeless skin, cracked lips, messy dirty hair, filthy clothes. I grabbed a chair and set myself down between her and the TV. The smell coming off her was absolutely terrible. There was a bucket on the floor. Later found out it was half full of a wee cold vomit. I felt a deep pain for her. I wanted to protect her, help her, make her better. For a while I completely forgot what she had done. Seeing her like this was really painful for me. I guess in some ways I still love and care for her, despite what she has done. That fact kind of terrifies me. Something is wrong with me too, I think. I didn't know what to say to her, to be honest. She was clearly not all there. She actually asked me if I was real. When I said yes, she broke down crying in a way I've never seen anyone cry before. Her crying, or wailing is probably a better word, was so loud it sort of startled me. Without warning, mid-scream she either fell asleep or passed out. I put my Fitbit on her arm because I don't really know how to take someone's pulse. Her heart rate varied up and down between 100 to 150, so I figured that's probably not good. I made sure she was in a comfortable position on the sofa and I wiped the snot of her face before I ran and asked our neighbor for help. They were happy to look after our son while I took her to the hospital. She has been there for 7 days now, I think. I'm a bit blurry on the days, TBH. I have visited once, but she got so upset from seeing me that the doctors recommended that I don't visit for now. They have no diagnosis for her yet, and they have no idea of when or even if she will come out of it. I have been focusing on taking care of my son since I have made sure he has a regular IC, and he looks like he is doing better now. There is no doubt he has been traumatized by this. I am drowning in guilt for my part in causing him this pain. I have been in contact with a lawyer to try to get custody rights for obvious reasons. I don't know how that will work out. I have also prepared for divorce, but I am holding off for the time being. It took us several days to clean the house. I decontaminated the fridge with bleach and still it smelled like rotten food, so I actually had to get a new one. I also found that my wife had taken all my dirty laundry into bed and made a body shape of it. It had some additions to make it look anatomically correct, and it's kind of disturbing, TBH. I looked through all her papers that she left all over the house. It's incoherent nonsense for the most part. Some pages has dates and times. I can't understand most of it apart from some pages that have long lines of sorry, 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 written on it. Most pages with text just transition into a wiggly line in the middle of a sentence. I don't know what to do. My anger is completely gone, replaced by sadness of the situation and for the trauma and pain inflicted on my son. I feel bad for my wife, but I also understand why I was angry and how I have changed to deal with the pain. I have left a huge piece of myself behind and she caused that. I don't know if I have it in me to forgive that. A big part of my personality was being a good husband and provider for a long time. That part of me was mortally wounded by her affair. I left that part of me behind. It was just too painful to keep. It's too early to say anything about where we end up, as for now all avenues are open. I am still hurting and confused. I will just continue to try to rebuild my self-esteem and my self-image of my masculinity. If my wife comes out of it, I will talk to her and see where I go from there. Right now I need to focus on my son. I need to make sure he is okay. Sorry, it's not anything spectacular like the other stories I have read on here with principled confrontations and epic revenge. I am exhausted and sad. I don't know what to do. It was also clear-cut in my mind before I came back. Now I just can't see any good ways forward. So you sent the video to the AP wife. What happened, and will you proceed to divorce? The AP wife has contacted me, but I haven't had a chance to talk to her yet. I had my hands full. AP wife has received the video. I don't know if we will divorce. I don't know anything yet. I will take my time. I don't know if we will divorce. The answer should be obvious. It isn't that obvious on my end. I thought I had a clear path forward, but I am very conflicted and confused at the moment. You are trying to fix it, be stoic, make it work, when it's really not up to you to do that. You're not the one who cheated, you're not the person who broke trust and destroyed your marriage. She is. She broke it, she needs to fix it or it will happen again and again. Lawyer. You can love someone and realize that person is not good for you. Thank you for this viewpoint. Don't be confused by your feelings. When we deeply love someone, it's hard to completely put that aside and no longer care. That's called humanity. She had a huge confrontation with reality and it overwhelmed her with the reality of what she did. You're a good man to see to her health and to take care of your son. You're also doing well to understand and control your anger. I don't think you left the good husband and provider behind. It's hurt and may be hiding inside you for now. I hope you'll agree that leaving the angry part of you behind is good for you. I would suggest you not rush into divorce proceedings. You can always do that. What's important now is your wife's health and your son's well-being. You have a lot of people here who have genuine concern for you. Please keep us updated. Thank you for your thoughts. I am a bit scared actually. I will try to post updates when relevant. Thank you again. I have the same opinion. Although most of the time I think that divorce is the solution, in this case I think it would be best to find out exactly what happened before making such a decision. When I say that, I also think of your boy. Even if you are not the biological father, for him you are his father. And he is my son. I will not let him down again. Definitely do what's best for your kid. Whether your wife's mental break was from you leaving or the AP dumping her remains to be seen, but what she has done to you and then to your son cannot be ignored. Glad to hear you're getting him. I see. Seeing his mother implode like this probably left some emotional scars. With everything you got going now, I would definitely recommend keeping up at the gym. You don't have to have any great emotional epiphany. Sweating out a bunch of rage with the heavy bag and weights can do wonders. Maybe it's something you can share with your son in the future. I'm keeping your family in my prayers and hope you can achieve some semblance of recovery soon. Good luck. Thank you for your kind wishes. I don't know if she will recover. It's a bridge I will cross when I get there, I guess. I am doing what so many here recommend. Take my time, stay focused on my son, don't rush anything. I am working out a lot, every day actually, it's really helping. Hey, man. I just read your whole story and I just want to say, do what you think is right. If writing on Reddit helps you, please continue to do so. I'm personally interested in the outcome, but please take all the advice given by Redditors with a grain of salt. Sometimes people work through their problems and have a successful happy marriage. Other times, it doesn't work that way. Please don't allow the internet to sway a decision that will change your life. You make that decision when you are certain that it's the decision that is best for you. I am sorry for what you are enduring. Yes, I have come to that conclusion. It's my choice. Still, I get a lot of fresh angles from good and bad commenters. It's very helpful for thinking through things. I am grateful, although a few messages are a bit over the top. A lot of really hateful, angry people out there, I guess. I definitely postpone the divorce until custody of your son can be confirmed. It doesn't sound like his mother will be well enough to care for him for a while. It looks like I will be appointed primary custodian, at least temporarily. It's out of necessity. Other than that, I will take my time. I just came across your post today and read your updates. 2 weeks ago I had a very similar situation happen with my ex. A year ago, we were engaged before and I felt something was really wrong. Like he was cheating. I confronted him and he reacted the exact same way, in anger. He screamed at me and called me crazy and paranoid. I questioned him on all sorts of red flags and he had some story to explain them, so I believed him. When his behavior didn't change, but rather got worse, I ended it. When I moved out, he made me feel so guilty I went into a depression. He kept saying I abandoned him, which made me feel like a complete monster. This was a year ago and just a few months ago we started talking about getting back together. Things were going well and we decided I would move back with him. I got halfway through moving my stuff in 2 weeks ago, and one day while I was cleaning his kitchen with my stuff in it, I came across an envelope that had a letter in it. When I started reading the first 2 pages, it said things like, "Ever since you left I've had a void in my life and what we had was real and I'll never be the same without you." I thought the letter was to me. Honestly, I was touched as I hadn't heard him say those things to me when we were broken up. Then when I got to the 3rd page, it said, "When you left his place of work, I cried in the bathroom. I saw the tears in your eyes and just wanted to hold you forever." I'm sure you can guess I never worked with him. He was cheating on me with a coworker. I had the same reaction as you. I saw only red and just wanted to murder him. I left and went to my friend's house to calm down because I thought I was going to destroy his entire place. I called him later and confronted him. He called me crazy and said it never happened. Luckily I grabbed the note and since we were on FaceTime I showed it to him. I started to read it out loud and he started screaming at me. I demanded to know who it was and he wouldn't tell me. Then he proceeded to tell me I was acting crazy and that it was a long time ago and not a big deal. It was 11 p.m. on a Saturday night and so I hopped in my truck seeing red and drove to his place. I got there and told him had to tell me or the letter would be posted to all social media and to his parents with my explanation on how I came across it. He finally told me everything and that he was in fact cheating. He wouldn't tell me why though. My guess is he is just that big of a piece of shit. It felt normal for him to do it. It enraged me so much I started knocking his stuff all over and kicked one of his chairs at him. He tried to stop me by physically holding my arms. I had so much adrenaline in me I shoved him off and pushed him as hard as I could against the wall and let out a demon scream that made him shrink up against the wall. I've never seen a man so terrified before. I was scared of myself honestly. I had lost control completely. I continued to destroy everything and screamed at him for hours. I finally lost my voice and just collapsed. He left me there on the floor and when I woke up I left his place sobbing at 3 a.m. The next day I didn't leave my bed. I hurt my hand and ankle from kicking the chair while destroying his room in a rage. Everything hurts. We were together for 9 years and it meant nothing to him. Didn't even apologize. A couple days went by and I started to feel better. Almost relieved that it was over and I didn't have to worry about him cheating on me anymore or that I abandoned him. I've realized that he was manipulating and gaslighting me this entire time. I'm more angry than hurt now, but I'm not enraged like I was. I'm really sorry you went through what you did, but don't let her manipulate you back into being with her. You don't deserve that, and she will only do it again, and you will be angry at yourself next time. I know it's not easy to do a clean break with your son, but you have to take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself and don't waste time feeling sorry for her. You did more than I would have, but I'm sure you are stronger and nicer than me. I hope my story helps you know that what you felt and how you reacted was perfectly understandable and warranted. Nobody deserves that shit. Good luck with everything and take care. This was painful to read. I understand that rage all too well. Also the terrible sadness that comes with it. I am focused on my son. If my wife ever comes out of the psyche ward, I will see what I can do. I don't really know anything at the moment, so I will wait. Your story mirrors my cousin's marriage but no children. WW was barren. His WW cheated and lost her mind when he served her the divorce papers. She lost so much weight that the doctor thought she wasn't gonna make it. Their house was destroyed by her. She cut her arms and thighs. I think she had 3 full buckets of vomit. She took all the pictures of them together and slept in the bed with them to keep her warm. She would go in the toilet and never cleaned herself or flushed, so you can imagine the house. We had to burn the bed and a lot of clothes, and my aunt and mother hired one of those hazmat cleaners. They never have seen a house so filled with human filth in their carriers. These guys were disgusted and they cleaned up after finding a body a week later in summer. One of them suggested demolishing the house since it looked like those meth houses. They tore down walls because the urine had gone through the cracks of the walls. Her mom sent a priest because she refused to eat and was force-fed in the hospital. It was tragic, so ducking tragic. We couldn't let my cousin be alone in case he took his life from guilt. You think the wails of a broken woman are bad. Doesn't come close to an ugly cry of a broken man. Terrible. Her mom and my aunt on their knees begged my cousin to forgive her, to pull the divorce papers. That she has truly been through hell. Everyone begged for her forgiveness. Just one person didn't believe my cousin's QW remorse. My older sister. Ex-detective with 20 years experience. My sister would be in his ear whispering, making him cry, forcing him not to pull out of the divorce. My cousin WW was transferred to a psychiatric facility. She was doing better and my mom and aunt swore they would make my cousin forgive her. My mom snuck a cell phone under her pillow and said to call anytime if she needed anything. Don't know how my sister did it. She played back a recording of my cousin's WW calling that night to her AP and said everyone fell for it. She was 2 months away from having to resign a 10-year prenuptial agreement, and if not signed in time, she gets half of everything. So when my sister played it back to everyone at the welcome home party for his wife getting out of the hospital, was dead silent. She didn't even cry or say anything. Just a shrug of her shoulders. My sister had her arrested and put in for a psych eval. WW was diagnosed as a sociopath. Doctors said she had 0 emotions, 0 empathy, 0 remorse. So dead inside. I guess. We found out she had herself fixed at 19. No doctor would ever perform that kind of surgery, so WW went and did it in one of those third world country vacation destinations. Not saying your WW is doing the same. Just saying that some people will do anything to garnish forgiveness and rug sweep an affair. For all those who are asking, my uncle was a wealthy miser and had my aunt sign a prenuptial agreement every 10 years and left his wife nothing and my cousin everything, with the stipulation that if he marries he had to have his future bride sign a prenuptial agreement as well. We always thought my mom's older half-brother was an a-hole. We never looked at my aunt the same after that. It's been 10 years since that and half of the family still refuses to talk to my sister. Sorry you're going through this hell. It's weird that you were cheated on by your WW and are still being cheated out of moving on with your life by your WW. No one in your family will ever forgive you if you don't take her back. So when she cheats on you again, your family will still blame you and make you stay while your WW cheats over and over again. Good luck. That is a terrible story. I feel for him. That is just heartbreaking. I don't think this is the case with my wife. I am not rich, she basically has nothing to gain from this. In fact, she stands to lose custody of her son to me. We have both had income, we have very little saved, so I don't see any gains for her. Update 3 received letter, wife cheated, I am so angry I am scared of myself. I have some questions, maybe you can help me shine some light on this from different angles. If you're going to post in comments just divorce to be, don't bother, I will simply ignore you. I know that in the end whatever happens is my choice, so I will choose what is right for me and my family, whatever I decide that to be in the future. I haven't been sleeping much and I am a bit dazed, so if I ramble a bit please bear with me. I really appreciate all the different perspectives you give, it really helps me think things through. The wife is still in the hospital, she is refusing to allow anyone to see her apart from her mother. The only instructions she has given, apart from no visitors, is that no one is to talk to me on her behalf or try to pressure me in any way. She has confessed cheating to just about everybody but not in any detail. Her calls have been panicked along the lines of, I cheated. He is going to leave me. What should I do? So people have been pretty much leaving me alone, unless I have called them to ask for their help or opinion. My wife has written me a letter her mother handed over to me a few days ago. It is long, 32 pages. I will try to summarize the main points here. She apologized for what she's done to me, her son and us. She says she will sign any paper I put in front of her, no questions asked. Post-nup, divorce papers, whatever. She also confesses to a 2-month emotional affair with another man online before the current affair started that turned physical. I didn't know about this at all, so I believe she is being honest. Her confession is very detailed, and she has given me all her login credentials to confirm that she is honest and not hiding anything. She freely admits that she was captivated by the attention and the excitement, but she seems genuinely confused that she allowed any of this to actually transpire. I believe what she has written is the truth. Emails, messages, call logs etc. backs her story up, and she has also pointed me to a thumb drive hidden in one of her drawers that contained a diary going back almost 10 years. Her diary and her letter seem to be in perfect sync from what I have read so far. She explains that the first year online was more of a game than anything else, flirting only. No sexting or meet-up. It went on until suddenly one day she felt compelled to send this guy a message. She immediately ended it then. She couldn't find the courage to tell me, but according to the diary she was trying. When the main affair started, she was flattered and given a huge ego boost from this guy giving her attention. He is a very handsome guy, model type, and I have met his wife and she is absolutely stunning. 10/10 jaw-droppingly beautiful. My wife's ego rush got addictive, it seems. Getting attention from this beautiful guy that was married to such a beautiful woman gave her a huge boost. She felt like she must be very special to outcompete his beautiful wife for AP's attention. She admits she knew what she was doing was wrong, but she also seems genuinely confused that she was unable to stop herself. She hates herself for losing control. If I understand this correctly, the affair only turned physical once the AP started to lose interest in her. She started using sex to keep him interested, to keep him giving her attention. From the diary, the sex seemed to be more of a chore for her. She doesn't seem to enjoy it, she does it just to get more attention, like it's a reward she gives him for that. It's clear she is struggling with guilt, especially in the beginning, but she soon starts to compartmentalize this. But of course we drifted apart and our relationship suffers while she does this. The affair was physical for 4 weeks and they kissed and fooled around with intercourse 5 times according to her diary and her confession. This is backed up with her location data and credit card bills for hotels etc. The rest is history that you already know. Her letter concludes with the following. I don't know who the person was that had the affair, or at least I don't recognize myself doing it. I don't understand how I could so easily abandon my beliefs and my morals and hurt the people in my life that I love more than anything. I don't know why I wasn't able to stop myself. I will not insult you by asking you to understand or forgive me, because I don't deserve understanding or forgiveness. My only hope is that I can be helpful in some way to help you and our son heal. I will do anything you ask of me, without question. I will do anything if you think it might help in any way, no matter how big or small. I will live with my mother once I am released from here. I will stay away unless you ask for me. I don't want to remind you with my presence of the pain I have caused both of you. I don't have the words to tell you how sorry I am for what I did, and my greatest wish is that you heal and find someone worthy of your love that you can be happy with. I pray I haven't permanently destroyed your ability to trust and love someone deserving in the future. I will not be with anyone else because I'm clearly not safe to be with. I will seek therapy to try to find, and perhaps one day cure what is wrong with me, but as of today I don't really know who I am or why I couldn't stop myself from doing these things. I knew what I did was wrong, that I was hurting everyone, myself included, but I did it anyway. I was selfish. I caused all of this just so I could feel a little better about myself for a brief moment. Once I saw the pain on your face on the camera you left behind in the bedroom. The heartbreaking pain on your face, while you were watching the tape with me and the other man. At that moment I realized how delusional I am and how terrible and evil I had become. I am afraid there is no salvation for me. I will always love you. I wish I could undo it all, take it all back. But I can't. I'm sorry. I ugly cried reading it, and I really don't know what to do. I've been up all night reading, and I am emotionally drained, confused, and unsure of everything. I watched the video again, and I also watched the video of me going insane. I don't remember a lot of what happened on the video. It is very painful to watch my wife's actions, but I have been looking at it over and over again. Why can't I stop looking at it? It is also very disturbing to watch myself go crazy, and I can't stop doing that either. I keep going back and watching it from start to the end over and over again. I try to put it away, but an hour or so later I find myself back watching it all over again. It's hurting me, so I don't understand why I do it. Also, is what she's saying even possible? That a person can be pulled into an affair where behavior becomes compulsive like she describes it? Where it's not really a free choice anymore. Maybe a WW on here could share some insight? I also clearly see from her diaries that she probably developed depression about 3 years ago after her favorite aunt died. Her perspective on life becomes very dark after this, almost hopeless I would say. I've read other stories where depression seems to cause drastic personality changes and be triggers for affairs. Any insight would be appreciated on this. She clearly never loved any of these men. She loved the ego boost, the increased self-esteem, the rush she felt from them seemingly telling her the right things. On D-Day she totally cut her AP out of her life and called his wife and told her about the affair. I know this because the AP's wife told me when I met her. She actually asked me if we could have a revenge affair. She was very focused on this, getting revenge. Would that help anything? But beauty aside, she is probably the most annoying woman I've ever met. Talking to her was like nails on a chalkboard. Needless to say, we will not be having an affair, and we will never ever meet in person again. I don't know what to do now. I can't sleep, I can't really think, so I could really use some help. I am not sure if there is a reason for forgiveness. I guess that is one of the things I am trying to process. Do that and take your time. Remember, this is not a race. You gain nothing by rushing to a decision. Before you make a list of questions that you want to ask her, I also want you to take your time with that. She won't be able to answer most of the questions right now either way and needs some serious therapy and self-reflection before she can answer herself those questions or you. First of all, take care of yourself. Find out what needs to be done to get your own emotions in check, to find sleep again, and to make sure that your son is doing fine. Your wife is taken care of, so there is no direct way to do it for you. You put her in a safe place and her mom is informed about her situation and will take care of her. If you want to write her anything, then only write that you have received her letter, that you read it and that you need some time to process that all. And tell her how your son is doing. I wish you all the best. Have you already gotten tested for STDs? Thank you for your advice, and I am getting tested on Friday. Your relationship with the kid part really tugs at the heart, and begs for some happy reconciliation. Just the story of her and you not as much, minus the kid, as she didn't stop the affair and come clean on her own. Also, when she had depression problems she didn't turn to you for help. Did you miss the signals? Is there a value/principle mismatch between your two characters? I will think carefully about the value/principle mismatch. I didn't pick up on anything, so I missed any and all signals. The more I think about the depression you describe in diary information and your description of her in the video, almost zombie-like, that's opposite of most WSs. Now, I'm thinking less of it being a character flow, which is the usual case around 80% of the time, so that's my knee-jerk reaction. I'm sort of leaning towards this guy being a piece of shit and sensing the vulnerability in your wife and using it against her, acting like her BFF, then putting the move on her. I knew of these two piece of shits, POSS, that would take advantage of bipolar wives when they were fighting, going into a manic phase, and were very vulnerable. I knew another POS, very good looking, that girls would almost throw themselves at him. He would have no problem bedding any of them, yet he still would drop something into their drink, not enough to knock them out, just enough to make them totally submissive so he could totally have his way with them. He wanted to be in full control of them. I don't know if this AP is one of these serial players/adulterers, but he sounds like a boss. What's amazing is they hardly ever get called out and exposed as scumbags. I managed to talk to some of App's friends. He is having multiple parallel affairs. So he is a POS predator. I thought it sort of fit, but it took me a while. It wasn't my first reaction. I wanted to blame it on her character. He probably was playing his male BFF character, and she probably made the mistake of telling him about feeling guilty about the online thing, and it would have been like catnip to the guy. Good chance that this wouldn't have happened if your wife didn't have the misfortune to cross paths with this POS predator. You are probably right. Update 4, wife cheated. I am so angry, I am scared of myself. I am very grateful to everybody on this forum. I have received a lot of help to better navigate this disaster. I am okay now. I feel I am back in control of things. I've been trying to get to see my wife. She refuses still, and her mother still acts as a go-between. I tried to call her out on her promise in her letter to me, that she would do anything, if I thought it would help in any way. So her mother relayed the message that I believed us talking would help. I also asked her to see her doctor together to try to help me understand. The doctor will not tell me anything without her present. I will try to be patient. In summary, I have been diagnosed with PTSD, and my wife has been diagnosed with persistent depression, and some bipolar disorder. She has a chemical imbalance in her brain, and they are trying out different medications for her. Many of you were right, her condition made her vulnerable, then a predator crossed her path, and here we are. Her AP has been cheating consistently on his wife for their entire relationship, with multiple women in parallel most of the time. They are divorcing. The AP has been beaten up a bit, not badly from what I have heard. App's wife called the husbands of most of the women he has had affairs with. I have a friend staying with me most days. He keeps me focused. And I am going camping with my son this weekend. I was trying to confirm if the descriptions in her diary were correct, that she considered the sex as a chore. And watching her disconnected behavior and facial expressions in the video, she is basically just waiting for it to be over. I have not decided what to do, but I have deleted the video of her and of me going crazy. It was just causing me pain, and I just couldn't put it away. One part of me is screaming at me to just walk away, to run and find someone else. What if she cheats again? How can I trust her? Can I get rid of the movie running on a loop in my mind? Will I divorce her in X years because I can't get past this? etc., etc., etc. I struggle a lot with these types of questions. But divorce would definitely mean that I lose some daily contact with my son, and there is no doubt that he needs me, at least for now. He is terrified of being abandoned, not that strange considering recent events. I think if I leave his mother now it would make things worse for him. If I can leave her like she is now, what's preventing me from leaving him? He will probably look at it like that. The two of us have started going to the boxing gym together and we are bonded stronger than ever. Being there for my son is giving me tremendous strength and motivation to face this with an open mind. He is leaning heavily on me at the moment, so even if I decided to divorce, I'm not sure if I could actually go through with it in the short term. He has begged me not to leave him again. The 2 weeks I was away was very traumatizing for him and I'm not exposing him to that again. There is no telling how long it will take for his mother to stabilize enough to be a good parent for him again. If I divorce now, maybe she'd never recover. Even if I divorce her, I will still have the pain, I will still have the scars. I will bring that into any new relationship. I think that would greatly reduce the chances of such relationships being successful. Isn't it just as well that I am with her while I try to heal? At least she will know why I am acting like this and understand why I am struggling. If I leave her, what is really waiting for me out there? Single women my age seem to be either divorced for good reasons, or they are so ravaged by baby rabies they will desperately go for anyone. They are not really considering if the person they choose is a good long-time partner for them. They seem very willing to play a role, just to get into a relationship. That cannot last long-term, I think. It seems to me there is a high risk of a string of relationships that are doomed to begin with because one party is desperate, and I am broken. Dating strangers and random hookups doesn't really appeal to me. Also, how long would it take me to find someone that understands me as well as my wife? She is the only person in my entire life that I felt she actually really gets me. And it took a long time to get to that point. Isn't that something I could use in my own healing? Would I ever be able to find someone again that could do that? How long would that take? There is no guarantee that a new partner wouldn't cheat as well. Given the circumstances, I actually think that the odds of my wife cheating again are lower than a new partner. My son also needs his mother, and she needs to heal before she can step back into the role. Will she heal faster and better if I divorce her? Or will she heal better if we try to reconcile? I don't effing know. It's driving me nuts. How can I know she is safe to be around for my son if I'm not there with them? When it comes to my own healing, would I be better off alone? Or with her? Based upon what I have learned here, it seems those that choose that jump to divorce don't heal very well. It looks like the best outcome as far as healing is concerned is when the wayward actively contributes to the healing over a 3 to 5 year time period minimum. I don't know if she is even capable of that at the moment, TBH. So here I am terribly conflicted. I have a million questions in my head and basically zero answers. I still struggle with the two extremes, reconciliation, or divorce, and everything in between. I can't deny that I still love my wife. It turns out my bond to her isn't that easily broken. I really don't want to love her. The prideful side of me wants me to hate her. But I just can't lie to myself, I still love her deeply. And even though I fantasized about her getting hurt as badly as me the first few weeks, I don't want to hurt her or anyone. It wouldn't help me at all. Either way, I see long painful road ahead of us. I hope I have the strength to stay the course and be patient enough to make sure I make the right choices for my family and me. The only thing I have been able to decide is that if I land on offering R, it will not just be given, I will need to see some effort. I will not offer R until I am absolutely sure we are two people 100% committed to that path. Also, if we do R, she will basically be a prisoner on probation. I don't want to be that guy, but what choice do I have? If I feel I can't trust her, either way we will need a lot of therapy. Maybe she doesn't even want to I just don't know. Not being able to talk to her is starting to become a real burden for me. It's stressing me out. I feel I really need to talk to her. If anyone has any good suggestions for these conversations, I am all ears. Again, thank you all. Nothing I can add other than we hear you and wish you all the luck you need. Sure, I have persistent depression and abandonment issues. I don't cheat even when I've been deeply dissatisfied with my partner, and come on. Her conditions may have made her cheating easier to fall into, but she cheated because she wanted to. Do not pass off her choices on another or her conditions. Pretending she doesn't have agency in the face of forces she must contend with daily means she will never be worthy of trust, even with work. She accepts full accountability and you pass her full accountability, or she will forever use that wild card to act out. That said, she seems genuine, just don't make the mistake of coddling her through this. She's got it rough, but she made this what it was and needs to own it fully, and you taking responsibility off her even in your own head is not a favor, it's a condemnation. I agree her condition is a factor, but she still made the choice. I'm glad. You're right, for the most part. Most people in their mid-30s and up are usually single because they're a trash bin of a human, 6/10, and the rest are in your situation, 2/10, or feeling baby fever despite never feeling motivated or having the time to maintain a long/healthy relationship. 2/10. I'm 31, and after spending a year plus reading this and other subs and digging into the psyche of cheaters and learning their tells, literally all the women openly interested in me were cheaters or showed tendencies that learned that way. It sucks, and it's hard, but in reality, here's the truth. You only get one happy, lifelong relationship. Or else it wouldn't be lifelong. Holding on to a train wreck believing you may salvage enough to make the distance is a mistake, even if you make it. Your relationship with your wife is gone. With multiple concealed personality disorders that ultimately culminated in a mental breakdown, you don't know if she was even remotely the person she portrayed herself to be. Even if she wasn't malicious in using you for security, she may still have been acting or miming what she thought would be right the entire time. Bury your old wife you keep in memory. The person who knew you and got you was just one facet of what she was. You need to look at her for where and who she is now and decide if this person is worth a risk. The only thing you have any certainty of is she's the mother of your child. Paternity test cough, I only tell you to test him to see if this betrayal extends beyond what you know. If you're even considering giving her a chance, tell her that it's uncertain and she shouldn't set any expectations because you are undecided. Set a zero-lie policy. If she lies once, about anything, even eating your jello, she's cut off without explanation. You need to mean this too. Use that time afterward to get to know who she really is. Her everyday thoughts, how she feels about herself, and you independent of the affair. How she views you, family, dedication, loyalty. The important stuff. Find out how much of the wife you thought you had is the woman you see now. It's gonna feel like dating someone new, because you are. Then make your decision. For now though, don't press her. I know you want answers, but you pressing her will stall her recovery and ultimately lead to rash or emotionally charged decision making. Write your questions down. Amend them as needed. It does matter if there are 300 of them, in time you'll likely only have 3 or 4 of any significance. Focus on that boxing class and reassuring your boy you love him. He needs you more right now than you need to get answers or withdraw. Thank you for your thoughts. I have started making a question list. And I guess she doesn't even know who she is. Entirely the point. Once she figures that out, then you'll have the opportunity yourself. In the meantime, prep for single parenthood, and any eventualities that come from her. Man, I have been in your boots a couple of times. Well, actually I know how I felt. Of course I found out online. One day she just didn't come home and I was frantic. 3 days later a guy told me she was shacked up with another guy. I felt as if my heart was ripped out of my chest. I mean literally. The pain was physical. When people are hurt they usually grab hold of the place it hurts. I held my chest and then my belly. Except for divorce court and the judge, a friend who came to our wedding had to ask the people in the, well, it wasn't exactly a jury but a bunch of people, nobody cared, they just wanted to get their thing over, waiting for their turn at the plate. That was the only time I saw her since that time. She was staring daggers at me cause I was making waves. It was if it was no big deal. It took me 5 years to even begin to recover and took 5 years for it to scab over, and it still hurts to scab over. Never got an explanation, no remorse, nothing. In my opinion your marriage is stone dead. You will never, even if you're together till death, you may say you forgive her but deep down you know you can't. You will always be wary and even scared of life without her. That pain of betrayal. To betray someone that they say they love, think about that. She was willing to hurt you badly and cause all that pain for you. What kind of person, particularly your wife, would do that to another human being? It's not the same as combat where killing sometimes becomes necessary, but those circumstances didn't exist. In the end it always comes down to the same question, are you better off with her or better off without her? Right now you're in shock which will probably hang on for a while, maybe quite a while. Your head is spinning like a dryer full of clothes, tumbling around randomly falling where they do and then cycle again. How many cycles does it take to dry your clothes? You have a dizzying amount of intrusive quickly by another confusion, no cohesiveness as the next cycle intrudes again. Since I have gone through this as well as several friends, it takes about 5 years to begin to feel normal. I'm sorry man, but again, are you better with her or without her? Face the pain buddy. It's going to hurt and hurt badly. But you can't run away from it and you can't run away from yourself. You have a life and it's your gift from the fairy godmother or whatever you want to call it, and it's up to you what you do with you in the time you have or I have or everybody has. You know in your heart what you need to do, so the question is, can you? Good luck amigo. The world is out there and you're alive. Be honest with yourself. Know thyself. To thine own self be true. Other people said that and I listened. After a while. Deal with what is physically in front of you. Try it. It's unbelievably hard but it is so simple. It just takes guts. And sometimes guts is enough. Thank you for sharing your experience. I am trying to steel myself for a marathon. I hope I have the strength for my son's sake. Sounds like you made up your mind about staying. Talk to a lawyer and ask them how effective post-nups are where you live. Yes, it's possible if you divorce your wife, another girl can cheat on you. If you stay with your wife without getting a post-nup, or something that has consequences if she cheats, you'll probably go through this again. I have talked to a lawyer, pre- and post-nups are common and enforceable. But I doubt she's in a state of mind where her signing one would make it legally binding. I have had one drawn up. Divorce is pretty equal here, not like in the US. I would still get her to sign, it would be legally binding. It won't be easy if you stay, you're going to have to become an absolute rock. Good luck no matter what path you take. There are no easy choices. It all leads to lots of pain and probably regret either way I go. You seem to have gotten some very good advice. I just wanted to add, you are not responsible for her mental health. You are responsible for your mental health in order to better care for and be there for your son. You only have control over your reaction to her actions/behavior. You cannot and will not change her. I will keep that in mind. Outlandish but serious suggestion, live in the same house as roommates to avoid seeing your son a few days a week. Explain it to your son in age-appropriate ways. Mom and dad sleep in different rooms, if he notices. I know myself as a kid, I doubt I'd notice. If the main goal is the kid, then this could be a solution. A very different and difficult solution. BCS, you have to remain friendly, not just cordial your spouse, but as the number one priority is your kid, this could work. Thank you, this could be a possible workaround. I can understand where your thoughts are heading, and all I can say is, it is possible. I too reconciled and had 44 further years of relationship. What is important for you to remember is that it will be a different relationship. Totally different bases and expectations. You'll never trust her the same way you did before. But it's okay, as long as you know where you stand. Hopefully you will find a new common ground between yourselves and a new friendship, a lot more realistic and mature. That is my experience. BTW, a lot of fighting, mostly good, because at that point I wasn't prepared no more to blindly cave into any of her expectations. I strongly guarded my emotional independence. Good luck. Thank you, it's nice to know it's possible at least. I feel like your post is more of a defense of reconciliation than an update this time. If you want to try it again, do it and don't worry about anyone's opinions but the family you want to keep together. People here have excellent points, but we aren't living your life. Do what you feel is best for you and your son. Either way though, I would get the adoption going now. If she is legally considered sound, reach out right away. You have good reasons right now. She is gone, and you want to ensure that he is cared for. Equally as important, your son is scared, and he needs to know that he has both of you no matter what happens. This decision is terribly difficult, but should become a bit more clear when you no longer have the fear of losing or hurting him influencing it. Legally become his father and see if you still feel the same. You understandably have a million questions and it seems like not knowing the future is really difficult for you. I need to have everything planned and not knowing what I'm doing next keeps me up at night, so I totally understand. Occasionally remind yourself though that there isn't a hurry to make a decision. Fortunately, she isn't pushing, however, unfortunately, she's not communicating. You're home, and your son is taken care of. While you probably never imagined she'd do this to you, you still know her far better than any of us. You also know what you want. Do what you feel is going to best for you and your son. My only advice on that would be to prepare for the worst and stay on guard. If you get suspicious, don't hesitate to look into it like you did before. Thank you for this reflection. I have asked my son if he wants me to adopt him legally. He was very happy about this. I think it will help him feel safer. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.